Some social media users are not actually who they seem. Meet bots, trolls, and sock puppets. What are they? How do they differ? And how can you spot them and protect yourself? Let's start with bots, short for robots. They are anonymous, automated, artificial identities coordinated by real people. Some of them are harmless, like this Twitter account that tweets lyrics from Taylor Swift songs every hour. However, they can also be used to deceive. One person can manage dozens and even hundreds of bot profiles to create vast networks of accounts that share certain messages to make it appear like a lot of people agree with them. Sometimes a bot's mission is relatively innocuous, such as making a celebrity or a company appear more popular or trustworthy than they really are. But there are other uses for bots, such as spamming for advertising, mischief, and pranks. They are also used to fish for passwords or other user data, and perhaps even more maliciously, to bias public opinion by influencing conversations and trends. This can lead to a very hostile online environment. Estimates differ on how many social media accounts are bots, but a 2022 study found that 8 to 18% of Twitter users are bots. But that's not all. In addition to bots, there are also sock puppets and trolls. As opposed to bots, they are not automated. A sock puppet is an alternative online identity. Sock puppet accounts are not always used for malicious purposes. For example, alternative identities are often used by journalists or researchers to monitor extremist groups online without revealing their identities and putting themselves in danger. But the aim of these accounts can also be to provoke other users. These are called trolls. Trolls commonly feed on emotions. Whatever you write, they will twist into a message meant to evoke anger, fear, or condemnation. Some trolls have ideological aims and are guided by their own motives instead of money. Trolls can be random individuals who merely find it amusing to stir the pot on social media. However, they can also be acting on behalf of governments or organizations intending to create conflict in a certain societal group. Bots' discussions are very primitive, depending on the algorithms written into them. Trolls can provide more complex arguments and maintain intelligent but manipulative discussions. Advanced and coordinated trolls will use bots as part of their information campaign. For example, a troll will express an opinion and then use bots to represent massive support for that opinion with simulated social media reactions such as comments or likes. The most well-known example of this is an agency of propaganda trolls and bots in Russia. It was discovered they used Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and other platforms to create and disseminate false news about elections in the US and the EU. These trolls even managed to organize real protests and counter-protests via social media groups. So how can you spot a bot or a troll? Unfortunately, it is often quite difficult. However, there are few things to look for. Remember, just one of these traits doesn't automatically mean you're dealing with a troll or a bot, but several of them can be a good reason for suspicion. First, pay attention to the username. Are there special characters or numbers that make it gibberish? The next thing to pay attention to is the profile picture. Is it genuine or taken from the internet? Is it a real person in the avatar or some object, animal, or imaginary character? If the photo depicts a person, you can check whether the photo has been previously used by other sources using Google search. However, be aware that authentic-looking photographs used on social media can be fake. Website whichfacesreal.com shows examples of computer-generated images that look very real. One of these images is real, the other is generated automatically. Can you tell which is which? Then, check the profile itself, its completeness and availability of personal info, such as place of work or study, personal photos, and family members. Is it convincing? Also pay attention to suspiciously high and unnatural account activity. Hundreds of comments and posts a day or 24/7 activity might be a bot. Although social media may seem like a safe space where people are just sharing their thoughts, opinions, and memorable events, keep in mind that manipulations and misinformation have no boundaries. Stay alert.